here since school, since my master's, so '03. I did 1 year away. I taught at Furman University in South Carolina for a year.
Where are you from originally?
Originally from Tennessee, East Tennessee, near Knoxville. But I've been.
End up at that big school, did you?
Did not. I was not interested in big enough. Well, I went to Furman, which is little and a little bit more my scene. Oh.
Reminds me a lot of Wake Forest.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go check online and make sure that's working.
I'm told that when you have four hands, one piano, there's risk of injury.
Really? I didn't know that.
I'm kind of tongue in cheek there.
No.
But, well, I am kind of tongue in cheek, but seriously, there's a lot of hand crossing, there's some hand crossing, that sort of thing. It's much safer to have two pianos, four hands, yeah.
I thought they were going to have two pianos. They've got two pianos. I mean, they got plenty of pianos.
They're told me I forgot. They were up north and they performed the same numbers, dance pieces, I think. I think starting with Samuel Barker. And I thought he said it, that they performed it one piano for a hand up north, so two pianos. But I'm wondering if acoustically, just structurally, would two pianos be too much for this?
They've had them.
They've had two.
They've had two in here.
They've had piano duets in here.
Oh, so acoustically it works fine.
I think the concern was two pianos. They were built by different manufacturers, so the sound is.
The timbre would be different.
The sound is not as balanced as, let's say. Of course, I guess this music is designed for four-hand piano.
Four-hand, one piano?
Four-hand, one piano.
Yeah, for one piano.
Did you get that out there?
Huh?
Did you get that out there?
Yes.
Would you like one?
Please.
Oh, you didn't have a program?
No.
They're on the music stand right by the door.
All right.
They had one time down there, they had six-hand. They played six-hand piano.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really neat tune. I don't know what the tune was, but the melody ran from this hand to this hand up the keyboard and back and several times. And it was really kind of neat. Let's see.
Well, I can imagine if they were to put a Yamaha, for example, with a Steinway.
Oh, two distinct sounds. You're right.
Two.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They're distinct sounds.
You'd have to play it soft. This is not a big room to start with.
Well, acoustically, yes. Steinway's generally a warmer timbre. Lighter timbre, from my experience.
Yep.
And that wouldn't sound very good.
You recorded the piano. It says they brought the piano over from First Presbyterian Church.
I guess I'm going to put my glasses on.
Yeah, they've had it.
Ever since they did the renovation, did construction work down there to keep the dust out of it.
Where do they do the renovation?
I just heard.
You can have them all.
Okay, we probably need
Two more coming, so.
Well, I mean, they've got
I did hear about that, yeah.
They got scaffolding all up around the church now. It's quite a operation.
Well, they had to change their worship location, right?
They had what?
They had to change their worship location?
Yeah, this was in the main sanctuary.
I mean, I'm sure they wanted to get that out of there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want it near all the dust and.
All that stuff in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, I don't know, this is to protect the instrument, too. Yeah.
I looked it up one time, it's 1898 piano.
This one's?
Yes.
Wow.
Been
Yeah.
rebuilt, but I mean, it's very old.
Yeah, well, I know, Steinways, if they're kept up, they just get better. Young ones get brighter.
Yamahas get what?
Brighter.
Oh, do they?
Uh-huh.
And Steinways don't?
Not to my knowledge, they might a little, but, Yamahas really do. I had to get mine revoiced. Sounds better. You know, put little holes in each hammer to revoice them. It sounds a lot better. This is good.
Yeah, I got an old Steinway at home.
Do you?
Yeah, it's 1886.
Is it in good shape?
Yep.
Well, Steinway.
Yeah. We didn't know it was that old when we bought it 40 years ago. We just knew it played good, and we knew the lady we bought it from had it for 50 years, but we didn't know anything else about it. Finally, about 15 years ago, the tune came. I know it's old. Steve's actually rebuilt an 1886 right fast.
You wanna?
Here.
But he came out and looked at it, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, if you sit here, you can watch their hands.
He said the one he rebuilt.
Is that what the idea is? I can see it. Can you see the hand?
The lady bought it from her. All right.
Yeah, she had it for a long time, and I don't know who had it before her.
Wow.
Phone ringer.
Did you buy
I
it?
can find my.
Okay.
My son has mine.
Oh.
Making a movie.
Do you have a degree in music? Do you have a degree in music?
No.
You just like to play, huh?
Yeah, I just like to play.
That's wonderful. I have a degree in music and I don't play my So,
That's better.
why do I have this tape? It looks pretty. Yeah. Nothing like
If I wanted to rebuild, I talked to Steinway several years ago. They rebuilt the thing for me too, if I wanted to.
There it is.
But you don't need to.
I mean, would it be rebuilt in the same factory it was made in?
Really.
We hear from Bethany and Aaron.
Oh my goodness.
Off and on. Nothing really has happened much. Got back from Colorado and went right back to work. So working at a camp,
Okay. And no chipping of the ivories?
a Methodist
Well, at that
camp with
point,
a bunch of cabins.
the keys are actually the ivory.
So this summer, a bunch of people bring their kids.
Yeah, it
That's what they're doing. They're taking care of the kids.
He's like,
Camp. So it's just music faster there.
They're not ivory.
yeah.
Real ivory, wow.
Well, those are probably two of them.
Oh, yeah, sure.
She's looking for part-time. I think it's just him.
She was studying for her boards.
Yeah.
got. Yeah.
That's always a big day.
It's the only time I actually called them on their honeymoon because I was looking on the board of nursing website every day to see if she had a license number.
Did she know when you called her?
Well, I texted first. I texted Erin. I said, "Do you have any access to the internet?" And she says, "No. Why?" I said, "I have good news." But the problem is they don't know where they're going to live after he graduates in May. So she doesn't want to sign a 2-year contract, and all the hospitals require new nurses to sign a 2-year contract where there's a big penalty you have to pay back. So
They might move back to New York.
I don't know what they're doing.
He's still talking about going to school still, so. Yeah. So he figures out what he wants to do. Probably.
And one of the faculty's husbands in charge of the healing department.
Okay.
Did you know Janet was used to be
They had a good time out in Colorado. They went water rafting and mountain climbing.
I haven't been to Greensboro a year.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, anyway, she was one time at church.
Is Aaron's family in Massachusetts?
Yeah, they're from outside of Syracuse, New York.
It's probably in the atmosphere. They're in the photo.
But there's several other faculty members that are members.
Yeah. Sometimes the active.
Charge of music department.
so it sounds like there's some pretty close ties.
Sure.
Quite a number of years. It's a nice place to park and play.
It was ideal.
Oh, yeah, it's ideal, because this way it keeps tuned, keeps being used.
Right.
Different. Yeah, one person is doing better than the other. Being in the same city, please everything.
I'm not that far advanced.
But not, yeah. Right. I know.
John, go ahead.
Who's watching Marianne? You guys out for
A young woman from Africa, I haven't figured out what country yet, but with Cindy's show, Day Out, she works for Day Out.
You alright with it? I'm sure that's an interesting concept.
She doesn't know, oh, I don't like her. Why not? She doesn't know how to clean my insurance. Maybe we should show her. Kind of set in her ways.
We all get that one.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going. business is booming.
Cody's doing well. Cody's doing plenty. I think there's some reorganization.
Help yourself.
Always.
I said to our vice president, I said, you know, the way you're fixing this place up, it seems like if I were doing that, it would be in order to sell it, and you're not thinking of selling it. I thought, I just thought that was such a ridiculous idea, but then.
Silence is dead.
Well, I said a couple of times, so you didn't have to necessarily answer. Paul Jeffers.
Interesting.
Our census has been very high for the last minute.
Ours
Look around, you'd
picking
think it
up.
was like winter flu season or something crazy. And they were doing it every day and meeting all the other stuff, which is good, but
No, it's good.
but it doesn't feel good. Neither one feels good.
3 West now is closed. It's been closed for
Really?
3 or 4 months. Tally did this fires. He's doing okay. He's got a good director.
Good.
So,
Good. And Yolanda's your VP.
yeah.
That is so awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah. People do rise to the top. I mean,
She is so good.
yeah.
I never expected it after she went to the cancer center outpatient thing that would have ended up being. Our infection prevention person from High Point accepted a position at Alamance. Alamance still seems to be doing things differently than the rest of the country as far as education requirements and all that kind of stuff.
So is Central Carolina their boss or is it Cody? That's the thing. Who's over
Well,
who?
CMC pays the top executive.
Oh.
Cone Health. I don't know. They only worked it. They were still working on something.
I thought so, but maybe.
Yeah, I think that's why it was completed. I mean, when I left a year ago, it wasn't done. But that's when our one nurse went to be their educator. There's 4 seats up and all that kind of stuff. Good. Kind of hold on for the ride at this point. Too old to do something else and too young to, you know.
Do you have a pretty stable staff in your ED, or is there a lot of turnover?
The only time we see good turnover is when there's openings at medicine. A lot of our people work PRN in incentives, and so if something full-time comes up, we usually lose somebody. Because same stuff, same thing, much lower census.
Different clientele.
Different clientele. Our market share that we're losing goes there. We're trying to figure out how to get it back, but I don't know. And certain service lines now we're merging more with UNC. You know, like I have one critical care transport truck. I have one crew that I manage. And so UNC, the air care or whatever it's called, they're in the next 12 months going to take it over. And then we have to decide where they want the base to be. Can it still be in our hospital? Does it need to be somewhere else? And then the staff is like, so do we get full utilization inside our seats? You know, there's a lot of insecurities about where it's all going to end up. But if they end up on that crew, they get to. So there are some benefits. And instead of 12 hours a day, it would be 20%.
Good evening. Thank you so much for being here and joining us for our second in our series of 3 summer artist faculty concerts this summer. We kicked off the summer in June with Stephanie Foley-Davis and Susanna Steele, joined by some other MAG faculty, and had a really beautiful event. We're looking forward to tonight's performance as well. Just some reminders to check your electronic devices. It doesn't hurt to do a last-minute check. Make sure that your ringers are off, everything's silent. Even if it's set to vibrate, that can sometimes cause noise that's distracting to your fellow audience members as well as the performers. So please do be courteous about that and do a double check. Thank you so much for supporting our faculty members here at the Music Academy. Samee and Aaron have been teachers here for about 6 years. We're very sad this summer to see them move on. We're excited for a new chapter in their lives, but this concert is a great way for us to celebrate all that they've done for us here at the Music Academy, and we do wish them the best, although we will miss them. We hope you'll come back in August. August 15th, our string faculty will be presenting our 3rd and final concert. One of the highlights of the program is I'll actually be playing a string quartet that was composed by another one of our faculty members, Antonio Triol. It's a premiere here, and it should be really exciting, so maybe hopefully won't want to miss that. Again, thank you so much. We're going to dim the lights, and we'll get started in just a few moments, so we hope you enjoy the program.
in the set was a waltz, as I'm sure you recognize. Some of the other pieces are maybe a little more unfamiliar. The second dance, I'm just going to tell you, it looks like a Scottish. It's not. We found out that it was a schottische. And it's actually a two-step that was sort of in the, taken from a bohemian route. So it's totally not what it looks like at all. But you'll definitely hear the two-step in there. The third one is a pas de deux, which is just simply a dance for two, although it sounds a little bit more like a ballet. And you have a good old American two-step, the hesitation tango, which is just a very typical tango rhythm, but it does have a little bit more of a pause. You'll hear sometimes it sounds like it just stops just a little bit. And then, of course, the gallop at the end, which sort of needs no explanation. Samuel Barber was, like I said, he was an American composer, sort of, I feel like he really does sound very American, sort of along the lines of Copland, but maybe a little bit more dissonant. You probably heard a few things that sounded like wrong notes. Only some of them were. But the way he described the set of dances was that they would maybe, he composed them in 1952, but he said that, perhaps you would think of the era of the tango, which is 1914, and that the dances were not meant to be ironic or at all tongue-in-cheek, but that they were actually souvenirs and meant to be thought of with simply of ideas with amused tenderness.
Our next set is going to be the Petite Suite by Claude Debussy. Now, if you're familiar with Debussy at all, you may know that he's considered an impressionist composer. He lived from 1862 to 1918, and many of his famous pieces, we sometimes think of the Clair de Lune or the arabesques, are clearly impressionist music. The piece that we're going to play tonight, though, is not, however. We're going to play a piece from 1888, and before 1890, Debussy's music is often considered neoclassical, which basically means that he was looking back to some of the older musical eras, some of the clarity of their music, some of the history behind that music. And one of the focuses that his music had was on the early Baroque dance suite, and that's the type of music that we're going to be playing tonight. It's a set of 4 dances. It starts with a piece called En Bateau, which is a boat song, and then we have a cortege, which is sort of a stately processional in 4. The third movement's a minuet, which is a moderate dance in 3, and then we're going to finish with a ballet.
by Maurice Ravel, is another French composer. It's actually called the Mother Goose Suite, and you can see all the French titles in there. I'm not going to try to pronounce them for you. That was just embarrassing. But I am going to tell you a little bit just about the fairy tales that they are written after. The first one is the Pavane of Sleeping Beauty. So you'll just hear it's a short little piece, but it's very slow and beautiful, and she's clearly depicted just sleeping in the enchanted forest. The second one is Tom Thumb. Now, I really don't know what the fairy tale is for Tom Thumb, but the description in the music actually sounds a little bit like Hansel and Gretel. Tom Thumb, obviously, is very small. He gets lost in the forest and is trying to find his way back, but he was wandering around and he had left a trail of breadcrumbs, and so he tried to find it on the way back, but the birds had eaten it, so he was lost. So you'll hear there's a lot of really sort of wandering, very groundless tonalities. You don't really hear a lot of, oh, this is where we are. He's definitely wandering around, and at some point towards the end, you'll hear the little birds that he is probably not too happy to see. The third piece is called it's a very odd translation. It's really kind of difficult to explain. It's Plain Jane, the little Chinese empress of the nodding dolls. Again, I'm not really sure what the fairy tale is there, but there's a short story where basically it's just a little girl who is playing, and she has a collection of these nodding dolls, which they're porcelain dolls, and their heads will nod. I guess they're the original bobbleheads. Anyway, these ones are apparently playing on little stringed instruments made out of walnut shells and almond shells. But very flavors of the Orient, you'll hear in that one. The fourth one is Conversations Between Beauty and the Beast, and this is where it's the fairy tale that everyone knows, Beauty and the Beast. They're talking, and the Beast is asking Belle if she finds him beautiful, and they go on to talk about it, and he asks her, of course, will you marry me? And she says no, and then he asks again, and then she, this is sort of the end of the story, and she says yes. And what you'll hear in the music is that the piece is actually written with two distinct parts, so you'll hear both Beauty and the Beast. I get to be Beauty. So we'll have two very different themes, and then towards the end, they sort of weave together as they talk between them. And then the last song is not so much a fairy tale as it is just probably a description of the setting that the fairy tales take place. It's called The Enchanted Garden, and it's again no story in particular, but they can probably all the stories that we tell in the first four could probably be set in that enchanted garden. Hope you enjoy it.
Before we play our final set, we have a few thank yous that we wanted to mention. First of all, thank you to the Music Academy of North Carolina for having us. It was a tough decision we had to make to decide kind of what the next step for Samee and I was, and we miss all of our students up here and our colleagues. So it's wonderful that they had us back this summer. We were just very pleased to be here tonight and be with you. We also want to thank Christy with Samee Wong for turning pages tonight. She's and sort of emceeing us at the beginning, so thank you very much. And of course, thank you to everyone who's here tonight for attending, and thank you for supporting a wonderful cause. 100% of the proceeds tonight goes to the Music Academy Merit Scholarship Fund, so thank you for supporting that. If we have some students out there, and I think we do, I see a couple here and there, this next piece you might recognize the composer because you probably play their music every week. Their husband and wife team, Nancy and Randall Favor. This piece is written by Nancy. She does a lot of the music for the Piano Adventures series, which I think just about everybody teaches from up at the Music Academy here. I know Samee and I both do as well. So we thought it would be really, really fun. It is a dance suite. There's lots of fun dance-like rhythms in it. So we thought it would fit really well with the program tonight, and it would also be really fun to present something a little bit different from these composers that we deal with week in and week out. So we hope you enjoy.
Just give a little more. It got very hot.
Oh, did it?
It got very hot.
Well, that light was on.
Well, I guess it was just hot, and it felt like this, and yeah, we just needed to separate a little bit.
He took 3 calculus. Good. So he will take AP calculus.